that is out today. Do you want to hear the latest numbers? This is head-to-head Hillary versus Trump in key swing states. In the state of Ohio, Trump leading 43-39. It is still within the margin of error, so pretty close. In Pennsylvania, Hillary leading Trump 43-42. Again, it's a bit of a toss-up there. In Florida, Hillary leading Trump 43-42. Again, a toss-up. And I mentioned the Ohio. So those three states, really, I mean, Trump with the larger lead, 43-39 in Ohio. But again, and here we are in May. It's a long time to go. But still, each of them very, very close. So those that's what Trump needs is the toss-ups. But he needs a lot of them. That's the key. You know, these stats guys, all the statisticians when it comes to this, and they're counting the delegates when it comes to the presidential election, they're all saying that it's almost impossible for Trump to win. Those same people were saying it's almost impossible for Trump to be the nominee, right?
I guess so.
They were all saying that a year ago. So how do you trust anybody? I guess you can't. On the line right now, Stephen Wells. He is a congressional candidate for NY22, and that is the seat held by Richard Hanna, who will be stepping down. Stephen Wells, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning, Bill. How are you?
Good. So tell me, where are you right now? I know you threw out the possibility of debate. You wanted multiple debates. I think 8 was the number you were looking for.
Yeah, at least 8.
And where do you stand now? I know that we have reached out to all 3 candidates. We'll reveal where we are. But tell me what you have.
I don't know. I'm still waiting. I mean, we've not heard back. We're ready to go. We've got at least 5 media outlets, including yourself, who are willing to host the debate. And I think that there's a reason that they're not showing up.
Okay. We've heard from George Phillips, who I believe is all in down in the Binghamton area. And,
yep, I would think he is.
Okay, and Andrew and Jeff, I defer to both of you guys on Assemblywoman Claudia Tenney. Where are we on that? I was told that we have a go. We're just working on a date. Is that the case?
Right.
What do we know?
Probably not till June.
Not until June.
We don't have a firm date or set of dates yet.
Okay.
Well, that's a shame because I'm ready, Bill, anytime. I know we've given several dates, but quite frankly, I'll cancel whatever's on our calendar. I think it's important that we get out here and get these debates so that we can compare our records.
You know, I'm, Steve, looking at your website right now, which is wellsforsecurity.com. Unless I missed it before, you have really taken aim at Assemblywoman Claudia Tenney. I see 3, I guess, postings, articles, blogs up here about Tenney. Is this in reaction to the fact that she really had her sights set on you, or to talk about what your strategy is here in this campaign?
Yeah, no, it's really more about comparing the record and setting the record straight. I mean, Claudia's an inveterate name caller. She called me names. She's called Donald Trump names. She calls people names, as you know. It's about setting the record straight. You're not going to see me calling her names, but you are going to see me pointing out the facts because we both got records. And I hope that the voting public will compare our records before they make a decision. And so let's just get the facts out. And I'm very proud of what I've done over the last 30 years. And let's get out what she's actually done, or should I say not done, and let the people compare.
Well, what are the records? What are you challenging that she has or hasn't done?
Well, what I'm challenging is her actual record. So, for example, in the assembly, she's never passed anything. I think it's over 136 items of legislation she tried to sponsor or co-sponsor. She's never passed anything. In fact, she's never even gotten anything to the floor of the assembly. So she's for being against stuff, Bill. But the fact of the matter is that what we want in Washington? Is somebody who can't get anything done in Albany? I don't think we need more of that in Washington. They're not getting anything done in Albany already. She's clearly not. And we need people who can move the country's business forward, get something done. I've got a record of 30 years of achievement.
I want to say last week or a couple of weeks ago, the campaign of Claudia Tenney put out a poll, and the poll showed her way ahead, and it was probably maybe go back a month ago, 3 weeks ago, but it showed her way ahead. It showed George Phillips in second place and you in a distant, not so distant, I guess, third. But she was way ahead. Can you talk about that? Have you done any polling on your own? That was a poll that was commissioned by her, but it seemed like it was a legitimate poll.
Yeah, look, I'm not a pollster, so I'm not going to sit here and the relevance of the poll is zero because it was before we even started. So it was before anybody even knew who I was. So we hadn't even begun any advertising or reaching out to the primary voters. So, the validity of the poll is not even worth talking about because it's before we even started.
Have you done any polling at this point?
No, I think that before we started, I think that there was a poll on the issues, but in terms of polling now, these things are expensive. And look, at the end of the day, I don't know if we'll poll between now and the end of June, but I don't know. I mean,
yeah, okay.
You see these polls in history always being wrong. I don't. We'll see. I'm sure I suppose we probably will.
Okay.
But,
Tell me. I know that there's a PAC that is backed by the Oneida Nation. Story in the Syracuse paper. They put out this PAC put out a really critical mailer on Assemblywoman Tenney, and at one point saying that she actually voted with Sheldon Silvers. What are your thoughts on that piece that was put out? Have you seen it?
I saw the piece that came to my house. So I mean, look, to the extent that anyone puts out facts, that's good for I'm all about facts. Let's compare the record. If it's it's not surprising to me that they're doing this, I suppose, because look, she called the Ray Halbritter, as she famously called him Spray Tan Ray. So it's not surprising that she's upset the heck out of him, and that's that. We have no coordination with them, and whatever they put out is independent. It's actually a super PAC, not a PAC. Right. A super PAC, as we can't coordinate.
So and we mentioned Silver. The question would, the fact that she's in the minority, chances are she's going to have to be voting with Silver. Do you think that point in itself was a little unfair?
She voted for one point. I think it was 1.9, 1.6, or 1.9 billion dollar tax increase. I don't know. Look, to me, it's more importantly, has she accomplished anything? Has she gone down there and done anything positive? Has she passed anything? And the answer is no. And look at her record of votes, and you got to show up for work. You got to show up for work. People would be fired in my business. They would never get to not show up over 400 votes. It just wouldn't last. It's unbelievable what goes on down in Albany.
We're talking to Stephen Wells. He's the Republican, one of three Republican candidates for the congressional seat that's being vacated by Richard Hanna. Stephen, I want to ask you that 2 years ago, when Claudia was running against Richard Hanna, she was calling for debates. And even in this past fall, she was this past fall, November, December, she was calling for debates. Now it seems like, according to her own polling, she's way ahead. And it does seem that she's dragging her feet. Before it was, I'll debate you anytime, anywhere. You name the time, I will be there. Now, all of a sudden, there is a delay. Don't you think, though, that it would be the logical choice? Politics. It's almost as if she's the incumbent. She's in the assembly. She's way ahead. She has all the name recognition. From a political strategic point, I said the same thing to her 2 years ago when it came to Hanna, and I'll say this to you as you're challenging her. Don't you think it would be a bad decision for her to debate you because she has only everything to lose and nothing to gain?
Well, what matters is what the voters care about. It's not a question of the politician, right? I'm not a strategist, but what really should matter is if you have nothing to lose, if you're happy about your record, then you should be proud of your achievements and come out and tell the voters about it. I don't know how else to answer that question, Bill. I got a record of achievement. Let's compare our records.
And talk about your record of achievement.
Yeah, look, I've essentially had two jobs, but as a prosecutor, there's 110 prosecutors in our office. Nobody had a better record. I'd never lost a first chair as a jury trial, with dealing with the most complicated and serious felony cases of rape, robbery, murder, kidnapping. Then I came back and started a business with my brother. We've grown our business here in upstate New York from from just a couple employees to over 1,000. And so, look, I'm proud of creating jobs, of balancing budgets, of doing, frankly, in leadership what we need more of down in Washington.
Go ahead, Manansky.
I think this is like a litmus test, I guess, for conservatives and Republicans. I'll hit you with a couple things. Where are you on the abortion issue? Pro-life, pro-choice?
Yeah. So as I've stated repeatedly, the current law. I support the current law, federal law, which prohibits funding for abortion.
Can I ask on Obamacare? Are you one who would vote to repeal and replace, or where are you on Obamacare?
Yeah, look, it needs to be. I can tell you firsthand, as a business owner, the travails and the problems of Obamacare. I guess the question will be how it gets replaced. There's clearly it needs wholesale change, whether it's outright. It can't just be tiny tweaks. It needs to be wholesale change. How that legislation gets done, I'm open to, but it needs wholesale change.
And on the debate, I want to go back to you. That was your challenge. You have the floor here. In closing, what do you want to say to Assemblywoman Tenney?
I say that I hope she comes out and debates. We've given several dates, but I'll drop whatever I'm doing to make it to work for her schedule to show up at any of these outlets. I hope we don't have to wait till the end of June to do this. There's no reason for it. Let the voters see our records and compare both the records and where we stand on the issues. So I'll make myself available.
Well, if I am correct, though, she has told us, Manansky, she has said that she will debate after June, but we have not been able to pin down a date. Jeff?
Correct.
Okay, that's what we have. Let's see what happens. Steve Wells, thanks for coming on. I wish you the best. And listen, this is moving very, very quickly. We're already moving into mid-May. Hard to believe.
Bill.
All right.
Thanks an awful lot. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Quick break. We'll come right back. 7:23 at WIBX.